This is the Saros 10R Robot Vacuum and Mop. It's shaped like a low, sleek disc, just over 3 inches tall, in a smooth black finish with a rounded profile. For anyone who loves a tidy home but doesn't have time to constantly vacuum and mop, this thing will definitely catch your eye. When I first got it, honestly, I was a bit skeptical. Most robot mops and vacuums I tried before have let me down in one way or another. But I've spent the last week living with the Saros 10R in my own apartment, and my quick review is going to be honest. I'll focus on what it really does well, a few things that bothered me, and try to explain the basics for folks who aren't robot vacuum pros. Holding the Saros 10R, the first thing I noticed was its ultra-thin, premium build. That 3.14-inch height means it actually glides under my couch, bed, and the dining table with no trouble. It's a big improvement over other models that always get stuck or leave dust bunnies hiding in hard-to-reach spots. When it comes to looks, this thing is exactly what I expected from Roborock. Slick, modern, and solid. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic gadget. The rounded disc shape and low profile also mean it just blends into my living space, and I don't mind it sitting out when guests are over. The charging and self-cleaning dock is bulkier than the robot itself, but it's pretty good looking with its glossy surface. It holds all the magic that makes the hands-off cleaning happen, so I can forgive it taking up a little extra space in the corner of my kitchen. From my experience setting up the Saros 10R, the app walks me through everything, connecting to Wi-Fi, choosing my room types, and drawing virtual boundaries. I'll admit, the initial setup had a couple more steps than I expected, especially with the base station having so many features: self-emptying, self-washing, self-drying. But I got the hang of it fast. The instructions are pretty clear and there's tons of customization. Once up and running, I could choose when to run it, pick zones to clean, and even tell the device to avoid certain rooms or carpets. If you don't want wet mops rolling over your expensive rugs, you can easily set that up in the app. It even syncs with voice assistants like Alexa and Google Home, if you're into that. Let's talk about performance, because that's where the Saros 10R makes a difference for me. I have a cat, she's the best. But between fur, stray litter, and the hair I shed myself, my hardwood floor and area rugs are always collecting new messes. The very first time I ran this robot, I sprinkled cat litter and a little rice in the corners, right up against the wall, just to see what it would miss. To my surprise, it got pretty much everything, even those stubborn bits in the corners, thanks to the FlexiArm Riser brush that pops out and extends as needed. Simple, but super effective. The suction is seriously powerful. I read it's 20,000 PA, which is way more than most robot vacuums. I honestly don't measure the suction myself, but I can tell when something just works better, and the carpets came up looking clean, even after I stepped sand into the fibers. The Saros didn't remove every grain of deeply ground in sand, but nothing I've tested ever has, and it got a very solid 80% of it out on the first deep cleaning pass. The mopping system was another spot where I was slightly skeptical. Some robot mops basically just drag a damp towel around the house, but the Saros 10R uses 2 spinning mop pads, and I actually watched them lift when the robot hit my entry rug, meaning it kept the carpet dry while cleaning the rest. The mop pads return to the dock to wash with hot water, then get dried. This is a real game changer for anyone tired of funky mop smells. What I also love is the dock's ability to self-empty the dustbin and autofill the mop tank. I don't have to mess with it every time I clean. I can just refill the clean water tank when the app notifies me. A huge plus is just how independent the Saros 10R has become. I didn't need to rescue it from tangled cords, socks, or everyday wires like my phone chargers, which is usually where older robot vacuums lose the plot. The new navigation, called StarSight 2.0, means it recognizes 108 different obstacle types. I scattered random things on the floor, and, except for one tricky phone cable, the Saros either avoided or gently pushed past them, and the app would show photos of what it had spotted. If you want, you can switch on an option to take pics for security or pet watching. Speaking of pets, the robot has a fun extra. With its front camera, you can spy on your pets while away, do a quick video call, or take snapshots all through the Roborock app. It feels a bit like overkill, but I tried it, and seeing a live stream of my cat napping was honestly pretty cute. Now for the best parts that matter most. The cleaning power is impressive, both on bare floors and carpets. I especially appreciate the anti-tangle brush rolls. My last robot vacuum basically turned into a hair roller in a day or two. But here, Roborock's Duo Divide brush and the sidearm have almost no hair tangling, even after picking up long hair and pet fur. I checked the brushes after a week and barely needed to pull any hair out. The dock's self-cleaning and hot air drying are genuinely useful and cut down on smelly mops or moldy water residue, something that always used to bother me. If you hate vacuum noise, this robot is the quietest I've tested. During regular cleaning, I easily watch TV in the same room. The only time it gets loud is the 10-second emptying process at the dock, which is pretty normal for these systems. It's overfast and not something that would keep me from using it. The app, in my opinion, is best in class in this category. It makes setup, scheduling, and troubleshooting as straightforward as possible, even if you're totally new to robot vacuums. But no product is perfect, and here's where Saros 10R still has room to improve. The first thing I wish was better. The water tank in the dock is slightly small. I have to refill the clean water tank every couple days if I'm mopping the whole house regularly. It's not a deal breaker, but those with larger spaces might notice this. The base station's footprint is not as compact as the robot itself, which can be a hassle if you're tight on space. Also, the very first setup involves a lot of steps, choosing Wi-Fi, drawing rooms, learning all the options. I can see this being a bit much if you want to just plug and play. With all the smart options packed in, it might even feel overwhelming if you don't use smart home devices. Another minor gripe is with cable avoidance. While the robot navigates most obstacles impressively well, power cords, especially thinner, loose cables, can still trip it up. I had a phone charger on the floor, and the robot did tangle with it once. Though to be fair, no robot vacuum I've used has completely solved this problem. From my experience, the Saros 10R offered the most hands-off, reliable cleaning I've seen so far. Being able to set it, forget it, and come home to spotless floors, no pet hair tumbleweeds, no food crumbs, no sticky footprints is really satisfying. The mop actually cleaned up a big soy sauce spill, and even went back to the dock mid-clean to wash its pads before coming back to finish, something I've never seen from another robot vacuum in my home. In conclusion, I'd recommend this for anyone looking to reduce daily cleaning chores, especially if you have pets or kids who make a constant mess. It's perfect for people who are tired of digging hair out of vacuum brushes or dealing with half-clean floors after every robot pass. If you're ready for a little learning curve with the setup, or just want to automate mopping and vacuuming as much as possible, the Saros 10R will pay off. It does what I need a robot vacuum and mop to do: keep my apartment fresh and clean with very little effort on my part. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Saros 10R robot vacuum and mop. Thank you for watching.